this might be my favorite weekend of NFL football. You've got the best 8 teams left. Minnesota, San Francisco starts out on Saturday. Tennessee at Baltimore, second game. And then our Sunday games, Houston at Kansas City, Seattle at Green Bay. All of these just fantastic matchups. Who of the 8 teams out there are you most convinced will be surviving, will be standing by the time the weekend's over?
I think it's tough, Jen. I of all those games you just mentioned, I really think that Kansas City is going to get after Houston. I really do. Houston's very fortunate to come out of the first round against Buffalo. You watch that game. I was at that game, Jen, and the third quarter kickoff, DeAndre Carter just basically caught the ball in the end zone and pitched it to the ref without a fair catch or taking a knee. Buffalo recovered, ruled a touchdown, and then they overruled it. I thought it was a touchdown, and it would have put Buffalo up 20-0.
Yep.
Houston doesn't come back from 20-0. Maybe 16-0, but not 20-0. They're not going to score 3 unanswered touchdowns. So I thought that Buffalo had a legitimate beef. Houston played really well in the second half. I don't think that the Houston Texans have the firepower to keep up with a rejuvenated Kansas City Chiefs offense, even though Deshaun Watson went into Arrowhead and won earlier this season. I think the Chiefs are going to be ready. If Andy Reid stays out of his own way, I really think the Chiefs are going to win this game, and I think that they are more than capable of going into Baltimore and winning the AFC a week later.
Yeah, I think the team that I'm most convinced survives the weekend is Baltimore. And I really do like Tennessee. I mean, I think what they did in going and winning that game last weekend, running the ball, Derrick Henry, putting it in his hands and saying, carry us to victory. You know, it was really attacking a soft spot, I felt like. And so I think they're capable. But Baltimore, I just think their experience, their weapons, I think they are the team I feel best about because I do like Kansas City also, but Deshaun Watson, you were there, Cedric. I'm still not sure how he didn't get tackled on that big play he made. Unbelievable. It wasn't just that he eluded. He actually took the contact of those two guys and somehow stayed on his feet. How did he do that?
I'm telling Jen, it reminded me of Steve McNair in the Super Bowl on that last drive when they're trying to get the ball into the end zone against the Rams, and he eluded 2 big guys, and he spun away and hit the receiver for a first down on like a crucial play. It was very eerily similar to that. I think Deshaun Watson is box office, and of all the college and pro games this weekend, I think that this is the second best matchup of quarterbacks. It's Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, number 1, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, number 2. Jan, I will not leave the house on Sunday. I know I have to cover UT basketball on Saturday. That's another conversation. Don't get me started on that. But Sunday, man, I am going to be a caveman. I'm not going anywhere. That is going to be a wonderful, wonderful afternoon of football.
You know, as you look at these 4 games, Cedric, the 4 road teams, Minnesota going to San Francisco, Tennessee going to Baltimore, Houston going to Kansas City, and then Seattle going to Green Bay. Any of the road teams that you feel like are most capable to pull an upset? I think I lean towards Seattle, but what do you think about these road teams?
I'm leaning towards Seattle as well. The Green Bay Packers have sputtered offensively at times. They did get a career year from running back Aaron Jones, but Aaron Rodgers hasn't been that supernova that we are used to seeing over the years, Jen. He hasn't been putting up those 350, 400-yard performances. Not a talented receiving core in Green Bay. Devontae Adams is a pro, but the other guys, Alan Lazard and Valdez Scantling, those are just average, above average players. And Jimmy Graham, we know he's past his prime at tight end. So I think Seattle with Russell Wilson, the ultimate playmaker in the playoffs, they have a really good chance to go in there and win. You mentioned Tennessee Titans. They've got the formula. Jen, they got the formula.
Yeah.
for winning in the playoffs. Hand it to 22 and let him rumble. New England wanted no part of Derrick Henry on his birthday.
No.
He ran with reckless abandon. And no one's talking about Ryan Tannehill throwing for less than 100 yards. It didn't matter. They didn't need him to throw.
No.
So if Derrick Henry is running like that, then Tennessee's going to be a tough out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And one thing to keep in mind about that Seattle game going to Green Bay, not any horrible weather expected, only a high of 29 or so, 23 that day. So it's going to be cold in Green Bay, but no precipitation expected to fall on Sunday. That could be huge in a place where, you know, if the weather goes south or north, as it were, in Green Bay, it can cause all sorts of problems. But I do like Seattle as the road team that is most likely to come out with a victory, but really fun games. I'm the same way, Cedric. If I can hunker down and watch football all weekend, I will. I've got an NBA game to cover on Saturday. You've got your basketball game down there to cover on Saturday. We all have our things, so we move on.
You know, hey, Jim, but you know what else we have? We have laptops with Wi-Fi. That's what we have, Jen.
That's true.
And we'll be sitting while we're covering those games. So
multitasking.
whatever's on our screens, Jen, as long as it's not illegal, I think we'll be okay.
We might have people looking over our shoulder trying to see the same thing we're watching. So
yeah, you will, because I know my screen's going to have some football on it. I can tell you that.
That's right.